All right, let's go. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Let's get into this. Steve Wilks firing. Recording this February 16th, 2024, a day after former defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers was let go of his duties not even a week after the Super Bowl, a Super Bowl in which his defense actually performed really, really well, in my opinion. In my opinion, had the Niners would have won that game, it would have been on the defense. The defense showed up, they stepped up, they really, for the most part, kept the high-powered, obviously very, very high-powered Kansas City Chiefs offense in check, all right? And it was shocking to a lot of people that Steve Wilks, of all people, got fired, seeing that he coached such a good game. Not only a good game, but if you look at the numbers throughout the season, the San Francisco 49ers defense performed fairly well throughout the entire season. So it kind of blew everyone. It's definitely shocked me to see that headline and to see Coach Steve Wilks get fired. And in regards to today's Move Swiftly thought and my thoughts about the entire thing, I want to preference everything I'm going to say by saying, hopefully, I'm hoping, I don't know for sure, obviously I wasn't in the room, I don't know the details of the situation, but I'm hoping that this was more of a mutual thing. It felt like more of a mutual thing when I first read the headline. I was hoping that it was something where Steve Wilks mutually agreed. Now, Kyle Shanahan apparently didn't say that, he didn't come out and say it was a mutual agreement, so I'm assuming it isn't. I have to just go with what's been reported, but I'm hoping, based on everything I just laid out, in fact, the fact that he had such a good year, his defense had such a good year, I'm hoping that it was a mutual thing and that there's maybe some opportunities that he may look to pursue. I know he's been in the game for quite a bit, and this coaching thing can wear on you. So I'm hoping that it was a mutual thing with Steve Wilks. But nonetheless, it's very important because, again, this is a reminder. This entire situation, this entire firing, how it has everyone very befuddled. I mean, I was tuning into some of the takes in the national media about this entire firing, and it was just it threw people off as to how someone could perform so well, and including me. Again, I feel horrible for the guy if he actually wanted to come back, all right? That, again, he can perform so well, he can do so. I mean, in many ways, if you look at the numbers, if you're focusing on the numbers and what he's done, Steve Wilks should be being considered for a head coaching job. He was the interim head coach, I believe, at Carolina. He was the interim head coach at Arizona. He has head coaching experience. So if anything, if we should be reading anything about Steve Wilks, it should be what head coaching job may he pursue. Is he pursuing a college job? Is he pursuing something like that? Would be the logical way to make sense of things. But the firing, it just doesn't sit well. It doesn't make any sense. And the main takeaway from today's video, the main lesson that we got to extract, and the main thing that I've been saying this actually for years and years upon years. Football business, the football business, the lucrative football business, the core of the football business is not a results-oriented business. It's a family-oriented business, all right? It's all about family. You don't move up the football ranks. You don't move up the coaching ladder. You don't move up in this business, so to speak, because of necessarily the results on the field. You move up because of the family orientation, because it's a family business. Understand this, all right? Understand. I'll be very clear when I say this, all right? Your interest in this game, your initial interest in this game, the majority of people who have been involved in this game for years, the initial interest in this game was that of a player. All right, you were a player first, and those youth organizations, those high school organizations, they're not money-making They're not money-making businesses. They're revenue-generating businesses. For the most part, they're 501c3s, nonprofit. They belong to the community, and it's about the family. The families are the ones that are organizing these things, and that's how the initial interest of this game starts. So it's no different than up at the pros. Just because they have billions and billions of dollars to generate, that their specific organization has millions of dollars, that generates millions of dollars, it doesn't change the core of the business. And the core of the business is that of a family-like atmosphere. Understand who let him go, all right? What is the last name of the guy who let him go? It's Kyle Shanahan. Who is Kyle Shanahan's father? Kyle Shanahan's father is a two-time Super Bowl winning champion. Mike Shanahan, who won a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls at the Broncos, but also I remember I actually remember before the rumors started circulating about Kyle Shanahan getting that job, it was said that, he grew up right there in San Francisco when his dad coached for the 49ers, and he would be the ball boy running around, building communities, relationships, building that all when he was a kid. I mean, there's probably people in that San Francisco Bay Area that know him from when he was a kid. In fact, it was Shannon Sharp, who played for the Denver Broncos for one of those Super Bowls, came out and said, I've been knowing Kyle Shanahan since he was a little boy, a little ball boy running around there. That's what this business is all about. That is the core understanding that we have to get away from this idea that there's results oriented towards a promotion. All right. When you look at the previous defensive coordinator that the Niners had, then was DeMeco Ryans. Again, where he go? He went to the Houston Texans, where he started his NFL playing career, where he had a great playing career as a middle linebacker. There was a relationship there. All right. In fact, if you really want to go deep, I strongly suggest you go and listen to the entire episode of the Pivot podcast when Antonio Pierce was on there. As of the week of this recording, he was on there. Whether it was Antonio Pierce, whether it's Raheem Morris, who was also on the Pivot podcast. Both of these individuals who are now head coaches, Raheem for the Atlanta Falcons and Antonio Pierce for the Las Vegas Raiders, they were both given an opportunity by Herm Edwards. Herm Edwards was coaching with the Jets, and this is when Raheem Morris was with Hofstra Pride, back when Hofstra had a program. He invited Raheem Morris to come and be a part of the internship program. Coach Herman. When he took the job at ASU, Arizona State, he brought in Antonio Pierce. He brought in Antonio Pierce to coach his linebackers. Now Antonio Pierce is a head coach in the National Football League. All right. Again, results, do they matter? Yes, somewhat. You got to actually know what you're talking about. You got to actually know your shit and all that. But at the end of the day, the promotion and the way we move up, the way we kind of put people in places in this business is going to be based on family and what relationships they have with family members and things of that nature. And it's nothing. I'm not going to be the one up here or speaking on here complaining about it. I'm just explaining to you what it is. And when you have a certain last name, there's certain opportunities that are already laid out for you. Not that they're better opportunities, not that they're better opportunities or worse opportunities, or however you want to juxtapose it. It is just what it is. My last name is Aswand Cruickshank, the only Cruickshank that is involved or played football and got deep into this game and all that. So Aswand Cruickshank knew at an early age, hey, I got to go build up my own name. I got to go build up my own business. I got to go build up my own things and then serve the football world the way I want to serve the football and athletic world. You just got to deal with what is. All right, you got to deal with what is. But like I said, I'm hoping, and it feels like the feeling that I got when I first read the headline is that this was a mutual thing, that Steve Wilks decided, look, this ain't the spot for me. Kyle Shanahan said, all right, if you're not all in, I'm not all in, because if we're going based on results, the whole thing just does not make sense at all. All right. Main website I try to keep these other 5 minutes, but topics like this I could talk for hours and hours upon this. This is actually, this is actually the short version of it. I'll probably do a full podcast episode on this entire thing because there's a lot to dive in and dig in. There's so many different lessons to take from what we're seeing in this hiring season and how coaches are shuffled around and things like that. So many lessons we can apply this to our business and how we run our businesses and how we run our homes and how we structure our families and how we, build communities and things of that nature. How we really carve out and create a lane for ourselves. There's a lot of lessons that we could be taken from this very thing. All right. So stay tuned for a full episode on this. All right. The main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.